Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the explosive romantic development that has the entire town of Port Charles buzzing with anticipation and dread. The intricate web of passion, betrayal, and legal jeopardy surrounding Drew Cain and Willow Tate is about to reach a fever pitch as Drew prepares to make the most desperate and calculated romantic gesture of his life, a proposal that could either save everything or destroy what little trust remains between these two embattled souls. The upcoming episodes promise a scene of raw emotional vulnerability as Drew Cain, the former Navy SEAL turned corporate warrior, finds himself on bended knee in what witnesses describe as a moment of pure desperation masked as romantic devotion. The setting for this pivotal moment appears to be the Quartermaine boathouse at dusk, where the amber reflection of the setting sun dances across the lake waters, creating an almost cruelly beautiful backdrop for a proposal born more from legal strategy than genuine affection. Drew will present a stunning vintage diamond ring, reportedly a family heirloom from the Quartermaine vault that once belonged to his great-grandmother, a woman who herself married under scandalous circumstances in the 1920s. The symbolism is unmistakable. Drew is reaching into his family's tangled romantic history to forge a new future, or at least the illusion of one. Willow Tate's reaction will be nothing short of volcanic, according to insiders familiar with the script development. Having just secured her freedom on bail after being accused of attempting to murder Drew, she stands at a crossroads that no woman should ever have to navigate. The charges hanging over her head: attempted murder, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice have transformed her from a beloved teacher and devoted mother into a pariah whose every move is scrutinized by both the legal system and the judgmental eyes of Port Charles society. When Drew drops to one knee, Willow's mind will reportedly flash through a montage of their relationship's most painful moments, the sacred vows they were supposed to exchange before Curtis's devastating revelation. The intimate nights spent in each other's arms that now feel like calculated moves in a game she never agreed to play, and the countless whispered promises that dissolved into dust the moment Nina Reeves's name entered their orbit. The failed wedding ceremony at the Metro Court remains fresh in everyone's memory, a spectacular disaster that society pages are still discussing weeks later. Curtis Ashford's decision to reveal Nina's passionate history with Drew wasn't merely a casual mention over cocktails. It was a bomb detonated at the altar, complete with specific details about secret meetings at the Metro Court pool, steamy encounters in the executive suites, and text messages that suggested their connection ran far deeper than either had admitted. The bride's gown, a custom-designed Carolina Herrera creation that took months to perfect, became a symbol of shattered dreams as Willow practically ran from the venue, leaving Drew standing alone before 200 guests, including the entire Quartermaine clan, Corinthos family, and half of Port Charles's elite. The footage from that day, captured by wedding videographers and leaked to social media, continues to haunt both participants, a permanent digital reminder of love's capacity for public humiliation. Since that catastrophic day, the landscape of Port Charles has shifted dramatically, creating new alliances and deeper fractures that make Drew's proposal both more complicated and strangely more logical. Nina Reeves, the woman at the center of the original scandal, has undergone her own transformation, distancing herself from both Drew and Willow while focusing on her Crimson Magazine empire and her complicated relationship with Sonny Corinthos. This distancing creates a vacuum that Drew hopes to fill, arguing that the past is truly behind them all. Meanwhile, Michael Corinthos, Willow's former husband and the father of her deceased son Wiley, has been quietly building a case against her, convinced that her relationship with Drew is merely a smokescreen for darker intentions. Michael's surveillance of Willow has reportedly included private investigators, phone taps, and strategically placed informants within the Quartermaine staff, all designed to prove that Willow's reconnection with Drew is part of an elaborate scheme to secure her freedom and a slice of the Quartermaine fortune. Drew's motivations for this proposal run far deeper than mere romantic reconciliation. according to production sources who have seen the detailed breakdown of upcoming episodes. Having survived what he believes was an assassination attempt, whether Willow was actually responsible or being framed by a more sinister party, Drew has become obsessed with the idea that only a legal marriage can provide the spousal privilege protection they both need. His legal team, led by the formidable Diane Miller, has advised him that a husband cannot be compelled to testify against his wife, creating a fortress of silence that could thwart both the prosecution's case and the various enemies circling them. Furthermore, Drew believes that presenting a united front as a married couple will sway Judge Morrison, a conservative jurist known for favoring traditional family structures and viewing marriage as evidence of character rehabilitation. The optics matter enormously. A defendant accused of trying to kill her fiancé looks like a monster, but a woman standing by her husband appears loyal, perhaps even falsely accused. Willow's internal conflict will be the emotional centerpiece of this storyline, with Emmy-worthy performances expected from the lead actress. On one hand, she remains genuinely attracted to Drew's strength, his unwavering belief in her innocence, and the way he has used his Quartermaine resources to assemble a dream team of defense attorneys, forensic experts, and character witnesses. Drew's decision to mortgage several of his ELQ subsidiaries to fund her defense has not gone unnoticed, creating a genuine sense of obligation that mingles dangerously with her lingering affection. On the other hand, Willow cannot escape the cold reality that their reunion has been strategically beneficial from day one. Her defense attorney, Alexis Davis, has explicitly advised her that severing ties with Drew would be interpreted by the district attorney as consciousness of guilt, essentially confirming that she attempted murder. Every dinner at the Quartermaine mansion, every public appearance on his arm, every shared glance captured by paparazzi has been calculated to build a narrative of reconciliation that contradicts the prosecution's theory of motive. The accusation itself that Willow tried to wipe Drew off the map contains layers of complexity that the proposal seeks to either resolve or further obscure. Forensic evidence presented by the prosecution includes gunpowder residue found on a scarf in Willow's possession, text messages where she allegedly discussed ending things permanently with an unknown contact, and security footage placing her near the parking garage where the shooting occurred. However, Drew's investigators have uncovered evidence suggesting the scarf was planted, the texts were sent from a clone phone, and the security footage was doctored by someone with sophisticated technical skills. Drew's proposal, therefore, becomes a referendum on his belief in her innocence by offering marriage. He is declaring to the world that he trusts her completely, that he believes the evidence is fabricated, and that he is willing to bet his entire life and fortune on that belief. This gesture transforms their relationship from a simple romance into a legal and emotional alliance against unknown enemies. The strategic implications of saying yes create a fascinating chess game that Willow must navigate under extreme pressure. Accepting the engagement ring, a spectacular 5-carat emerald-cut diamond in a platinum setting that once belonged to Leela Quartermaine, would immediately generate headlines that could influence potential jurors. Port Charles's media landscape, dominated by The Invader and Crimson, would splash photos of the happy couple across their front pages, creating a public narrative of forgiveness and reconciliation that makes the attempted murder charges seem increasingly absurd. Local television stations would run human interest stories about their whirlwind romance and tragic separation, while social media influencers would debate whether the proposal proves Willow's innocence or merely demonstrates her manipulative genius. This media saturation serves both their interests, but at what cost to Willow's soul? She must weigh the benefits of public sympathy against the agony of entering a marriage that began as a performance rather than a promise. Drew's legal team has reportedly prepared a comprehensive strategy memo outlining why immediate marriage is their best defensive move. The document, which characters will discuss in hushed tones in coming episodes, argues that spousal privilege extends not just to testimony, but to all communications, meaning their private conversations about the case, their theories about who framed her, and their plans for counterattack would be protected from subpoena. Additionally, marriage would allow Drew to assert joint property rights over any evidence seized from their shared residence, potentially invalidating crucial prosecution exhibits. Diane Miller is said to have presented this analysis with her characteristic blend of legal brilliance and emotional manipulation, telling Drew that love is the best defense money can buy and that a wedding before the trial would be the ultimate character witness. This legal pragmatism transforms what should be a romantic moment into a boardroom decision, a merger of lives designed to thwart a hostile takeover by the criminal justice system. Willow's reservations extend beyond the obvious legal calculations into deeply personal territory that makes her decision agonizing. She cannot forget that Drew's previous attempt to marry her ended in public humiliation, with Curtis's revelations about Nina serving as the catalyst for her escape. Those memories haunt her the way Drew's face crumbled as she fled the altar, the whispers of the guests, the pitying looks from Carly and Sam, and the triumphant expression on Nina's face when she realized she had destroyed their happiness. Yet Drew has spent months attempting to atone, sending her daily handwritten letters, having her favorite white lilies delivered to her jail cell, and using his connections to ensure she received the best medical care during her incarceration. These gestures, whether genuine or calculated, have chipped away at her resolve, creating genuine confusion about whether his proposal represents true love's redemption or merely the next move in a high-stakes game neither fully controls. The residents of Port Charles will react with a mixture of shock, fury, and cynical acceptance when news of the proposal inevitably leaks. Carly Corinthos, Drew's former lover and lifelong confidant, will reportedly confront him at the Metro Court bar, accusing him of being a hopeless romantic who confuses rescue missions with relationships. Her protective instincts toward both Drew and Willow will create an emotional storm, as she simultaneously warns Willow that Quartermaine men will sacrifice your happiness for their honor and advises Drew that this isn't a war, it's a marriage, and you're treating it like a military campaign. Meanwhile, Nina Reeves, upon hearing the news, will experience a complex emotional cascade relief that Drew has moved on, jealousy that he has chosen her former rival, and suspicion that the entire spectacle is designed to make her look like the villain in their story. Her reaction, captured in a stunning monologue delivered in the Crimson offices, will reveal layers of vulnerability beneath her polished exterior. Michael Corinthos' fury will be the most volatile and dangerous reaction, according to spoilers for the week of November 24th to 28th. Having never fully accepted Willow's relationship with Drew, Michael will view the proposal as the ultimate betrayal, a slap in the face to their shared history and the memory of their son. He will reportedly confront Willow at Kelly's diner, his voice trembling with rage as he accuses her of using a dying man's loyalty to escape a murder rap. This confrontation will escalate into a public scene that draws in half the town, with Sonny Corinthos forced to intervene physically before his son does something that cannot be undone. Michael's pain stems not just from jealousy, but from genuine belief that Willow is manipulating Drew, and his determination to prove it will lead him to make a fateful decision that could shatter the entire defense strategy. Behind the scenes, Curtis Ashford will grapple with immense guilt over his role in destroying their first wedding, wondering whether his truth-telling was righteous or merely vindictive. He will seek counsel from his Aunt Stella, who delivers a powerful speech about the difference between honesty and cruelty, forcing Curtis to question whether he should support this second attempt or warn Willow away from what he sees as a dangerous mistake. Jordan Ashford, as police commissioner, will have professional concerns about the proposal's timing, fearing it compromises her investigation and creates a public relations nightmare for the PCPD. She will reportedly meet with the district attorney to discuss whether the marriage could be viewed as obstruction of justice, creating additional legal peril that neither Drew nor Willow has anticipated. The Quartermaine family mansion will serve as the backdrop for several key scenes leading up to the proposal, with family members expressing their varied opinions in typically dramatic fashion. Monica Quartermaine, ever the voice of reason, will caution Drew about moving too quickly, reminding him that his pattern of rushing into marriage has ended poorly before. Ned Quartermaine, sensing an opportunity for ELQ, will see the marriage as a way to stabilize Drew's public image and generate positive press for the family business. Tracy Quartermaine, in a rare moment of wisdom, will deliver a bone-chilling warning to Willow. In this family, we marry for love, power, or survival. Make sure you know which one you're signing up for, because the Quartermaine prenup has more traps than a minefield. These family dynamics add another layer of complexity to an already fraught situation. The question of whether Willow will surrender to Drew's marriage plea despite her lingering disdain and legitimate fears forms the cliffhanger that will keep viewers glued to their screens. Her decision will reportedly be made in the final moments of the November 28th episode, with a camera lingering on her face as she stares at the ring, at Drew's hopeful expression, and at the gathering storm clouds visible through the window, a visual metaphor for the tempest she is inviting into her life. If she says yes, the engagement news will spread through Port Charles like wildfire, generating confrontations, alliances, and potentially even violence as various players adjust to the new reality. If she says no, Drew's desperation may push him toward even more drastic measures, potentially exposing secrets that could destroy multiple lives. Either way, General Hospital spoilers confirm that Drew will pop the question and await Willow's answer in a moment that could redefine both their destinies. Next, we will learn about the shocking twist where Sonny Corinthos faces false murder charges over Professor Henry Dalton's death, all to save his beloved grandson, Rocco Falconeri, from a crumbling courtroom nightmare. Sonny's tense chat sparks major suspicions. Picture this: in the gripping November 19th episode of General Hospital, tension skyrocketed as Sonny Corinthos poured out his frustrations to Rick Lansing about the dire straits surrounding Rocco's trial. Sonny's voice dripped with raw desperation, confessing he hated the slim chances of victory in this high-stakes legal battle that could shatter his family forever. Rick, ever the cautious lawyer, issued a stern warning, urging Sonny to steer clear of any rash moves that might torpedo the delicate defense strategy they were building brick by brick. But Sonny, with his trademark mobster edge, dropped a chilling bombshell. No Dalton, no case, uttered so nonchalantly it sent chills down spines. Hinting at darker possibilities lurking beneath the surface, Rick tried to calm the waters, boasting confidently about his fresh legal maneuvers poised to turn the tide. Yet in the twisted world of soaps, such loaded dialogue never slips in without foreshadowing chaos ahead. This exchange wasn't just filler, it's a neon sign pointing to the storm brewing for Port Charles' most notorious enforcer, the real killer's bloody secret exposed. Flashback to the heart-pounding moment we viewers witnessed: Jen Sidwell, cold as ice, firing fatal shots straight into Professor Henry Dalton, extinguishing his life in a brutal, calculated ambush that left no room for mercy. Standing frozen in horror, mere feet away was Britt Westburn, her world crumbling as the gunfire echoed through the shadows, plunging her into a paralyzing shock that still haunts her every step. Britt's eyes locked on the horror, her mind racing with the weight of what she'd seen: a murder that could unravel everything if the truth escaped her lips. Sidwell's motive? Pure malice, aiming to bury Dalton's lies and shift blame onto innocent shoulders, all while covering his tracks with surgical precision. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment act, it was a meticulously planned hit, with Sidwell vanishing into the night like a ghost, leaving only questions and a trail of deception. Laura's desperate call to the mob kingpin. Enter Laura Collins, mayor and pillar of Port Charles, reduced to frantic whispers on the phone as panic gripped her soul after stumbling into this deadly aftermath. With no one else she could trust in that split-second crisis, Laura dialed Sonny Corinthos, her voice trembling as she begged for his unbreakable loyalty. Sonny didn't hesitate. He materialized like a shadow, assessing the grim scene with the calm expertise of a man who's handled far worse in his underworld reign. Together, they orchestrated a flawless cleanup, Sonny taking charge of the lifeless body with grim determination, his hands steady despite the risks piling up. Laura's heart pounded wildly, her mind flashing to the public clash she'd had with Dalton just days prior, making her a prime scapegoat in this web of deceit. Yet in Sonny, she found her rock, a bond forged in shared secrets that now ties their fates inexorably. Jason steps in for the ultimate cover-up. Sonny wasted no time pulling in his most trusted ally, Jason Morgan, the silent enforcer whose loyalty knows no bounds, instructing him to whisk away Laura's car for a total vanishing act on Dalton's remains. Jason, with his ice-cold precision honed from years in the mob life, executed the task flawlessly, erasing every speck of evidence under the cover of darkness. Imagine the high-stakes drive, Jason navigating back roads, torching traces, ensuring Laura's vehicle returns gleaming and pristine as if nothing ever happened. No fingerprints, no bloodstains, no DNA whispers, just perfection that screams too smooth to be chance. This operation wasn't amateur hour. It was a masterclass in discretion. But in soapland, perfection like this often unravels spectacularly, drawing unwanted eyes straight to Sonny's door. Sidwell's frame job unravels Laura's world. Sharp as ever, Laura pieced together the puzzle. Sidwell wasn't just the trigger man. He orchestrated the hit to frame her perfectly, exploiting her heated public showdown with Dalton that had tongues wagging across town. That altercation, words flying like daggers over ethics, and lies painted Laura as Dalton's bitter enemy. An easy mark for Sidwell's scheme to deflect suspicion. But Laura's intuition cut through the fog, spotting Sidwell's guilt in his sly glances and evasive moves, turning the tables in her mind. As whispers of Dalton's disappearance ripple through Port Charles' elite circles, the clock ticks louder, with investigators circling like vultures. Sidwell lurks in the wings, ready to twist facts into a noose for anyone who threatens his freedom. A.D.A. Turner's ruthless ambition targets the mob. Enter Ada Justine Turner, a ladder climber with eyes on glory, who bulldozed Rocco's arraignment with aggressive tactics designed to crush the young Falconeri heir under legal weight. Her real prize, Sonny Corinthos, whose empire she's dreamed of toppling to rocket her career into the stratosphere with headlines screaming victory over the mob. Turner's playbook reeks of vendetta. She's salivating at Rocco's vulnerability, using it as bait to lure Sonny into a trap. Port Charles buzzes with tales of Sonny's ferocity. He's the Don who shields kin with unyielding force, pumping lead into foes without a blink. Her strategy? Bait the beast, watch him roar, then pounce with accusations flying. Sonny's bloody past haunts the present. Sonny's reputation precedes him like a storm cloud. Recall FBI hotshot Jagger Cates, who dared threaten to cage Christina Corinthos Davis, only to vanish from relevance in a cloud of mystery that still fuels whispers. Or delve deeper into the archives. A.J. Quartermaine, gunned down by Sonny in a vengeful rage, convinced A.J. had slain his cherished Connie Falconeri, his high school flame, whose loss scarred him eternally. These cold cases, buried unsolved, cast long shadows. Insiders murmur Sonny's name, connecting dots to Dalton's void with eerie precision. Motive overflows. Rocco's innocence clear as day. Dalton's perjury exposed. Lab untouched by the boy. Sonny had every reason to silence the snake threatening his bloodline. Conspiracy clouds engulf Sonny and Laura. As the noose tightens, Laura risks conspiracy charges, branded as Sonny's partner in crime in Dalton's demise. Their alliance now a liability under scrutiny's glare. Sidwell grins from the sidelines, plotting to sling mud at both, eliminate rivals, secure his alibi to high-profile scalps in one swing. Port Charles PD might unearth tire tracks or witness a late-night call, piecing a narrative damning the duo. Their pact, born of necessity, morphs into a potential death sentence, with alibis fraying at the edges. Britt's dilemma, loyalty or survival. Britt Westburn holds the golden key, the eyewitness truth that could exonerate Sonny and crumble Sidwell's facade, but will she wield it? Jason's abrupt exit, abandoning her mid-confession to chase duties, left scars. In her heart, she'll always rank second to his code. Ready to unload the full story on her once lover, Britt watched him bolt, cementing her isolation in this peril. Now, with her rare meds dangling by a thread, life itself on the line amid her hidden illness, risking testimony feels suicidal. Sidwell's reach could spike her supply. Or worse, Jason's best friend Sonny dangles in the balance. Britt's silence might doom allies, but self-preservation screams louder in the dead of night. Allies bound in a web of danger. Sonny and Laura stand shoulder to shoulder in this inferno, their trust a fragile shield against cascading accusations, Sidwell's schemes, and Britt's wavering resolve. As Rocco's fate hangs by threads, expect fireworks, interrogations intensifying, secrets bubbling, loyalties fracturing under pressure. Port Charles braces for fallout. Will justice blindside the guilty or swallow innocence whole? Tune in as General Hospital delivers pulse-racing drama that redefines family, fury, and fatal cover-ups.